I want to hand it over to you, actually. You'll probably explain it better than me. That line inside the documentation on Forest's hearing is loud, isn't it, really?
Yeah. So it said in the Nottingham Forest hearing, right? And again, you've got to ask yourself, why have they put this in the Nottingham Forest hearing? But they said, where a breach is described as major, then it may be the case that even a very severe sanction, such as expulsion, is appropriate. You've got to ask yourself the question, why have they put that in the Nottingham Forest thing? I look at it, right, and go, well, hang on a minute. Financial experts are telling us that Chelsea have got a £200 million black hole. They've got to sort that out by June the 30th. The players that you've mentioned, I ain't gonna lie, I wouldn't want any of your players. I'm pretty sure Rory and Tom probably wouldn't want it either. So who's going to pay that money? Then you had the point that Rory made earlier about, can teams actually buy them? Bro, I think you could be in trouble, man. And by the way, that goes for City as well. I'm quite happy to accept that. But I think Chelsea are in serious shit, bro. 200 mil.
As well with Chelsea, their model is flawed in the basis that on paper, yes, it looks like a money-making model. You bring in young players, they play, they go up in value, you sell on. That doesn't include all the variables, such as injuries, such as overall team performance, which affects a player's value, such as, in their case, they've sold a lot of the experienced players. Who do these young players who need to develop and look up to someone turn to? But an OAP Thiago Silva, who is now doing more damage for Chelsea when he plays than good, and Raheem Sterling, who is routinely getting booed by his own fans. That is the experience in the dressing room.
Thiago Silva is currently being ostracized by the team, from the team, due to his wife after the Wolves game, after the battering 4-2 at home. Even when that happened, I stayed to the end. It was getting boos all around. Halftime, we're losing. The booing at halftime, they'd done the Chinese New Year thing that wasn't received well. They also were promoting I think the Bob Marley movie at the time in the stadium. Thiago Silva's wife, Belle Silva, tweeted, change needs to be made. Since she made that tweet, it went viral, it popped off. He has not played a minute for us. The reason I looked at that tweet and I saw it as Belle Silva, by the way, don't get it wrong, she's proper Chelsea. I've been to Champions League away games and seen her on an EasyJet with all her kids sitting with the fans, partying with us, having a laugh, singing the songs, knowing the chants. So she's proper Chelsea, don't get it wrong. But she was talking about the ownership. That's how I looked at that tweet. She wasn't talking about the managerial situation. She's been there. She's seen the Abramovich stuff. He's the only Thiago Silva and Sterling are the only two players to have 250 league appearances in the whole squad. None of them do.
And now you've ostracized him from the team. So that means you have, so that's what we're saying. Yeah. Chelsea's self-damaging themselves. And when we say things like Clearwater or Blueco, well, they're equity company, the financial equity company, they know what they're doing. Dude, Silicon Valley Bank closed last year. Third largest bank failure in the history of America. That is a massive bank. Like, this is a bank that they closed, shut down, gone, poof, in the air. So you have to realize that these things can happen to the best of people.
I agree. LB, I want to throw a tweet out to you. This is one of the tweets that someone connected into us earlier about potentially being kicked out the league. This tweet was from a City fan that says, I know I'll be in the minority, but I'd effing love it. One last dance at a few of the old stomping grounds from the good old days. Almost advocating that he wouldn't mind being kicked out the Premier League as a City fan and going back down to Plymouth and etc. Do you advocate that? Are you joining him on his road trip to Devon?
I would rather not be kicked out the Premier League, to be honest with you. I quite enjoy winning the treble. But listen, I know a lot of old school City fans, you know what I mean, who followed City when we're in the lower divisions, who don't, proper football fans who don't follow clubs for just success, right? They follow the club because they enjoy going to the football at the weekend. They're not asked who you're playing. You know what I mean? Not asked whether you're playing at Real Madrid or Burnley away. Like, they just like following the club. So I know loads of City fans. I'm sure all fan bases have it. Me personally, though, I would rather be playing in the Champions League and playing at the high stages. But listen, I think there's a lot of people who are not that arsed. Because a lot of people, Terry, that are just like say they just enjoy watching football, don't they? They don't really care. Yeah, would you stop supporting United if they got relegated, or you still support them? Like,
no, I would definitely would do it. I think the way it's worded, like, I'm well up for this. I don't agree with being well up for it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't want Man United to get relegated, but I wouldn't stop supporting them. And it's one of the reasons that the last 10 years has been awful for us. But the good thing about it is, I think that It's good for certain fan bases to go through times of trouble or not always having the glory, because it makes you appreciate it more when you win. I'm telling you that now. And so a lot of the older United fans that I met when I lived in Manchester, they went through they went through the 70s and the 80s, and they used to tell me stories, and I never believed them. Now, it weren't that bad, was it? And then you go through it yourself, and you're like, Jesus Christ, it's terrible. But yeah, look, lots to unpack when it comes to that. We've got some super chats here to do. First one says, if your Chelsea trophies got stripped for cheating, would you still say Roman ran the club properly?
Yes, definitely. Because honestly, the truth is, football is a moment sport. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I love like the fact that we had the 2012, the Allianz, you know, we had wars with Barcelona. We've had wars. We've gone to Real Madrid and dunked them. We've been 3-1 down, got first leg, going to Bernabeu and being 3-0 up. Like them type of feelings, them moments we had as a club, you can't take that away from us. We need to remember we got sold for £1.
So in your opinion, CB, Lance Armstrong is still the greatest Tour de France guy ever?
I mean, he lived it. He can tell people at the end of the day, if ever it's authentic or not, he can tell people I did this. No one's taking that away from him. You know what I'm trying to say?
No, they literally did take it away from him.
No, he has those moments. That's what I'm saying to you.
But does he have those moments? If Usain Bolt, I pray to God it doesn't happen. Love Bolt. If I'll do a better version, Mo Farah, that's English, British. Yeah. If it turned out he was taking drugs for all those gold medals he won, would you, as still look at him in the same way as a legendary athlete?
No, but it's different though. I understand.
Do you know what, Terry? Terry, there is plenty of cases. Yeah.
If it was a thing where you told me, Drogba and Lampard were on steroids for the Champions League runs and that, fair enough. This is outside of our hands. The performances were there. You get what I'm saying?
But with a team that potentially shouldn't have been built.
Yeah,
the thing is, Terry, though, I was just gonna say the thing is with that, like, just like I do agree with CB a little, and I hold the same sentiment for if it was City, because the fans went through the moments. We watched the football. You have those memories, and you can't take away the feelings that you felt during that moment, and you're always gonna have that. Whether they take it away technically, just like you said, that there's plenty of players like Rio Ferdinand got done for doping. Like there's players. Yeah, he did. He got banned. Did he not get?
He didn't get done for doping. He got done for missing a drugs test, but took the drugs test a day later and passed it. He didn't get done for doping.
But still, people. All right, we'll take away Rio Ferdinand. We'll go to other cases. Wait, Terry.
Maradona. Pogba. They're still...
John Jones, one of the greatest ever, still gets regarded as the greatest fighter ever, and he's been done for doping. It just happens sometimes. Obviously, some people are going to hold that against him and say you can't be because you cheated, and they will say the same thing about Chelsea and same thing about City. But then some people are also going to go, we watched the fight, or we watched the moments, we watched it play out. You can't take that away from him, and I sort of agree with CB. Like
you're talking about moments, and you're talking about memories, and that lives with the fans and the people. We're talking about the law and authorities. When they turn around and take away your trophies and they remove them from you because that year you were attributed to have cheated, which simply means if you had 5 trophies and they take away 3, you now have 2 on the record according to the books. You can have the memory of the other 3, but you don't have those trophies anymore. The bottom line is no. I'm not saying, nobody's saying it's not fine. What we're saying is there are 2 different things. If you want to talk about memories and moments, we can all live in memories and moments of what our clubs have done at great times. But if we're going to talk about breaking laws and getting penalized for it, for example, Lance Armstrong, his medals were taken away. He doesn't have the most wins anymore on the record books. He has the memories of it, but he doesn't have the medals to prove it. And that's the bottom line. So at the end of the day, if they turn around and take away your trophies in those years for cheating, you can live with the great memories of Eden Hazard dribbling all the Arsenal players and scoring a goal. But that trophy that year is gone.
That's what I'm saying.
It's gone technically.
No, it's not bitterness. We're talking about if. We said if the penalty for the punishment, if that's what it is, then you can't use memories to overshadow. There's reality.
It's not overshadowing.
No, listen. Hold on. Let's see. There's reality, and there's reality, and there's creating moments. I love the moments that Arsenal has created for me as a club. But the reality is I have no trophy to prove it in the last 20 years. No EPL. But I love some of the games we've played. But there's nothing to prove it. That's the difference. You see what I'm saying? It's the same way if you win and they found out that you cheated and they take the trophy from you, you can live in the memories of how great the team was, but that trophy is gone is all I'm saying. And you have to accept that. That's just normal. That's
I do get where George is coming from. It's interesting that you say that. I think in fighting, it's more widely accepted because people think that most people are doping. But even